Hello, my name's Daphne McCurdy. I come from New Zealand, but I've spent more than 50 years overseas in Africa and the Middle East and Australia. I've only recently retired and come back to New Zealand. I came to the forum because my youngest son, Dion, comes nearly every year. And I have a long-standing interest in social responsibility and politics. So he said, why don't you join me? And from here, we took a holiday in Greece, then we're going to Turkey. Then he'll go back to Australia and I'll carry on travelling and then go back to New Zealand. I've found the conference really interesting because it ties in with a lot of things I've done in my life. I worked as a journalist at one stage in Africa. I'm a teacher, so therefore things like that were interesting. I spent 30 years as a safety consultant, so I'm very concerned about how people are. I worked for universities, I've worked for private risk management companies and the Chamber of Commerce. So, I've had a really broad background. I also worked as a psychiatric nurse. So everything kind of ties in together and I'm quite impressed. I love the session this morning where this organisation got 5 politicians together. And I thought that was amazing. It was a pity it didn't start on time, but other than that, I thought it was excellent. And I'm sure it will make the news tonight because you had 2 of the Conservatives state that they weren't going to necessarily be partnership. Now, that exact situation happened in New Zealand this year. The Conservative national government wouldn't say who they were going to partner with. The Labour government said, we will not partner with New Zealand First. And then when the election came, they were short. There was 4 or 5 on each side. The Conservatives could join with David Seymour on the ACT Party, but they still didn't have enough. And ultimately, they had to get Winston Peterson on New Zealand First. And so it took 6 weeks for them to be able to tie it together. And it's going to be the most interesting 3 years while they try and negotiate. Winston he's currently our foreign minister, but they put him deputy minister for the first 18 months because they knew that in the second time he would actually promote his own party. So, democracy, I was sorry to lose Jacinta Ardern as a person. I thought she had care and kindness, and boy, do we need that in politics. However, there was so much hate, so many death threats. I understand why she left. And I don't like the New Zealand that came out of that. That's not democracy. That is just horrible, nasty conspiracy theorists. And that's not democracy. I feel like I'm in some of the countries I've lived in the past. But it is my home, and when I go back, I actually think I'm going to implement some stuff. I'm retired now. I have no obligations. I am apolitical. I've probably voted for every political party, although for 20 years I wasn't allowed to vote. And I think I'd like to try and do something about citizens' initiatives. I am very involved in the local community, and since I've come back, I've actually managed to do a lot of things. People were a bit scared of me when I first came back, but they worked out. If I get an idea, I will research it, I will fight for it, and I will do my best. And I don't, if I can't win at this time, I'll put it aside, but I might come back again.